Hey guys, Jayendra Seti here from Pixel Test, and today's topic is how to learn data science with AI fast. This is something that millions of you have asked me again and again, and I thought it's best to make a video and explain all of these 7 pieces step by step. So stick around till the end, and you'll know all of this exactly. Now, broadly speaking, we have 7 of these, and we'll go through this step by step. So you have to know which programming language to pick. What is an IDE, which is an interactive development environment? You have to know about web scraping. You have to know about machine learning. Then you have to know about the mathematics, the data visualization, and finally the data analysis part. So all of this is going to be covered till the end, step by step. Programming languages. So, well, let's start with absolute beginning. What is a programming language? A programming language is nothing but giving a set of instructions to a computer and tell it to do something. Think of it as a way to communicate with some other person, or in this case, a bot or a computer specifically. So if you know a language such as Hindi, English, Spanish, or Mandarin, that means you are trying to communicate to the other person, and that other person understands this. Same thing with a computer. You want to maybe ask it to make an omelet for you. Now, so it begs the question, how do I go about picking which language? So if you look at the way languages, like the verbal languages are there, there's about 50 to 100 languages, let's assume. Now, which language will you pick? If you look at it fundamentally and from base principles, there's English, there's Mandarin, there's Hindi, there's Spanish, there's French, so on and so forth. And the number of speakers are 1.5 billion, 1.1, 610 million, 560 million, 310 million, so on and so forth, right? Now, the way you have to pick the language in terms of speaking is always which is the most popular right now, or which might be the most popular in the future. Hands down, if you are trying to be in a professional global setup, then English is the most important language you have to pick up, right? Similarly, how do you pick up a programming language? There's several in a large order of magnitude. There's several languages out there. There's Python, there's JavaScript, there's Java, there's C#, there's C++, there's C, there's R, so on and so forth. Now, remember how we know how to pick up a programming, a regular language? That's exactly the same way you have to pick up a programming language. Python, turns out, is the most widely used data science machine learning language, plus all of the AI tools and libraries are widely written in that as well. So it makes sense to learn Python, even if there's a little bit of learning curve, learn the language that's most popular, and that's going to be most popular, at least for a foreseeable future. We're talking maybe 10, 20 years. So be smart. You're anyways going to pick up a language, pick up Python. When I started out my journey, I picked up R first. No offense to R, but if you're anyways learning, learn Python. I should have maybe started off with Python. And another fundamental is master one language. Do not be the jack of all trades, master one language. And Python is also used for web development, data manipulation, machine learning. R is only used for statistical analysis typically. Also, the good news is that a lot of the popular companies, based on the framework that I had mentioned in terms of picking a language that's widely used, use Python for their everyday activities across most functions. So you're talking about Netflix, we're talking about Google, we're talking about Uber, so on and so forth. There's a bunch of others. There's Dropbox, Reddit, Stripe, all of them use Python. So learn and pick up Python, because that's a language that's going to be there for the foreseeable future, and you can earn potentially a lot of income learning Python. So on the right side, you have on the left side data science, and on the right side you have Python, R, and Java, right? Plus Python has amazing libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, so on and so forth. Next, when you speak or communicate, you have an environment, right? So think of this as a kitchen where you're chopping vegetables, you are slicing and dicing your meat, so on and so forth, right? So that's the environment. Now, in the environment, you're also developing. Maybe you're actually cooking some food, maybe a starter, maybe a main course. And you're also interacting with that environment. So you are smelling maybe a lot of the food that you're preparing, maybe you're tasting it. So that's an interactive development environment In this case, this is a kitchen. You have to do the same thing for programming. You need to be able to code, program, and see real time what's happening in terms of the feedback, right? The IDE is one of the most important, and there's several IDEs, interactive development environments out there. There's a free one that's Collab or Jupyter. There's other free ones too, PyCharm and Spider. I would again strongly recommend learn Google Collaboratory. It's absolutely free for you to use, and you can get started right away. Next, you also need access to a lot of data. There are so many data sets out there that are free to use, but some of the best data sets are, if you want to create your own data set. For instance, I love sports, particularly cricket. So I can go to certain websites and scrape data to build a model. So Python has amazing libraries such as Beautiful Soup, Scrappy, and URL-lib to go to a website or maybe a link and get information. So the third most important thing is web scraping, Beautiful Loop, Scrappy, URL-lib. There's programming languages, there's IDE, there's web scraping. Next, the holy grail, machine learning. One of the most interesting subjects out there, and actually one of the also the most beautiful subject out there. So machine learning, you have bunch of different areas of focus. Number one, classification or regression. When you are trying to classify a problem, such as, let's say, is it going to rain tomorrow? Yes or no? That's a classification problem because you are classifying it as yes or no. If you say, what is the temperature tomorrow? That is going to be a regression problem. You are predicting a specific temperature based on the previous temperature values. There's other ones as well. There's reinforcement learning, deep learning, dimensionality reduction. All of this set of algorithms is inside machine learning. And you have to slowly start from a beginner all the way to an advanced level. Next up, we have mathematics. So this is where a lot of people love it and also a lot of people do not like it. The math is important and it's really good. The mathematics is used for statistics, linear algebra, differential equations, or differential calculus, and in dimensionality reduction, you will be using a lot of simple fundamental concepts of math going all the way up. We next have data visualization, arguably one of the most important subtopics, wherein you will have to present and view your data in visuals. Just like how I'm presenting it on, neat visuals, you will have to present it in good visuals. There's so many other tools out there. Tableau is a very famous tool. Power BI by Microsoft is a big tool. Matplotlib, ggplot, Seaborn are all smaller libraries within the Python where you can actually start programming in this. Data analysis, again, very, very important and simple and easy to do. Number one, you have feature engineering, where we look at it, different sets of features. That's very important. So for instance, in weather, you might want to know what is the location, did it rain yesterday or not? What are some of the other patterns, right? All of these are very important features, and that comes under FE. Data wrangling. When you try to join tables, maybe the weather of one city, city A, and city B, maybe you're trying to join a few tables and do some analysis. That's data wrangling. And finally, EDA, which is exploratory data analysis, which is very, very important. Suppose you want to know which zones have high temperature and which zones have low temperature. Which zones is it snowing or rain, and which zones are arid or it's completely sunny. All of that can be done with EDA. So this is a very, very high level overview of all of the 7. And as promised, I had completed the fundamentals of how to learn data science fast. Now, how can you use AI to learn all of these fast? Very simple. So go to ChatGPT, and at any point, if you are stuck, you simply do 3 things. One, if you want to learn a new concept, you prompt it properly. How do I learn a particular topic? So for instance, if you don't know the area of a rectangle, you will go to ChatGPT and ask it area of a rectangle. Now, suppose number 2, if you don't know how to if you don't understand the area of a rectangle, which is length to breadth, you can ask that same prompt to ChatGPT and check if it's working or not. And number 3, if you're stuck somewhere and you want to get unstuck, then you simply go back to ChatGPT, upload the snapshot, and you know exactly where you are going wrong. Very, very simple, right? So that is how you can learn with AI any of these topics very, very fast. So use AI It's available for you 24/7. It's free to use, and it knows all of these subjects, right? And the final approach to learning is start with a simple use case that you like. So I might like cricket. I like a lot of the weather patterns, etc. And maybe you like stock, maybe you like retail, maybe you like e-commerce. Take those data sets and start working on them, right? And reverse engineer most of these and have a hands-on experience. Try to program every day, even if you spend half an hour, right? It's very, very important. And deployment is the last piece wherein you will try to deploy all of these models onto cloud or, you know, on a browser, right? And quick pitfalls, do not try to master these in isolation. All of these are interconnected, like I said, like the hub and spoke. So learn each of these modules and work with all of them and trying to understand all of the topics. Okay, test time. Data science is option A, the ability to predict. Option B, not sure. Well, if your answer was option A, ability to predict, that is absolutely right. And we have a special offer for you right now. In case you want to join our data science team, data science course, we have a great offer plus community. Use the coupon AI coach, AICOACH, to get 50% off, right? The link is there below here. Fill in your name, best phone number and email, hit yes, and be very careful. Use this coupon code. It's available only for a very, very less time. Use AI coach and you will get flat 50% off right now. There you go, right? And the entire syllabus is there. We're covering all of these: Python data science, pre-processing, Python mastery, machine learning, deep learning. We also cover deep learning. We are also covering a lot of the topics that we had, all of the topics that we had said, especially in the programming languages, the IDE, the web scraping, the machine learning, the math, the data visualization, and the data analysis. Plus, you also get access to amazing set of bonuses. So hit like and subscribe to this. Drop in the comments what you would like to learn more and use this coupon code. It's an absolutely fantastic course. Plus community. You also learn with the rest of others inside this. See you in the next video.